Definitely all eyes are turned towards the March 11 governorship elections in Nigeria. And joining us for more on this conversation, we have Godbless Otubure, the global president of ReadyToLeadAfrica. He joins us for more on this. Thank you so much for joining us on NC Continental Prime.
Thank you so much for having me today.
All right, so God bless. I mean, we've had the presidential elections and it has been conducted and a president-elect has emerged. But since the declaration, there have been accusations and counter-accusations. I would like your take on these controversies trailing the election, especially with the series of protests we've seen in the past days.
I mean, if you are an active participator or an active participant in the process like some of us have been, we definitely expect to see some of the post-presidential election activities that have happened. Like you rightly said, there have been disavowing of the process, the opposition parties that are saying we will not accept this. I think it was yesterday. I think the PDP candidate marched on the INEC headquarters in Abuja, and of course, you have the Labour Party candidate in the person of Peter Obi saying he does not accept the results, and he has made claim that the data available to him says that they won the election. So when you have all of these positions coming out of the election, you clearly would realize that what we're seeing right now is not shocking to a lot of us, that there will be protests, there will be different groups of people saying, no, we do not accept this, but like we've rightly maintained, the best way to approach this is to use the legal instrument, which is the courts and the tribunals, to lay your claim to whatever mandate you think you may have gotten from the Nigerian people, and you think maybe the electoral body has not made the right call, that you have the right to go to court and prove your case. So what I'm making of all of this is the push and pull of democracy. It is the idea that democracy is not a dash, neither is it a marathon. It is a way of life. A generation will come, work on it, another generation will come and try to improve it. So where we are right now is we're at the point where the push and pull of democracy is happening right before us. And I can understand that the challenges that happened on the 25th, of course, chief among them is the inability of INEC to transmit the results to the IRF portal in real time, which is actually chief.
God bless. Now, looking at these challenges, sorry to butt in there right now, because you're looking at the challenges that INEC has placed. We know that governorship elections are scheduled for Saturday. Now, the INEC chairman, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, while admitting some level of fault in issues of, we saw logistics, he mentioned it, election technology, and the behavior of some election personnel at different levels, he warned resident electoral commissioners that they would be held responsible for the flawed logistics. I mean, we saw this coming from the INEC chairman, and it was in sort of a way to dissuade people, or rather to reduce the tensions that we're seeing. But the question a lot of people are asking is, how weighty are his admissions and his warning to Rex? Can we actually count on what he's saying, that the Rex negligible or negligent staff will actually be barred from the elections?
I totally agree, because I have a case on a case that was just shared with me in one of the southeastern states, how a particular rep sabotaged the transportation of sensitive materials reality. So I can agree with the INEC chairman, because if you have the kind of budget that INEC has, you have absolutely no excuse, because even when people were feeling the cash crunch, the CBN said, look, INEC, we would give you every penny that you need, and you would have the monies you need to be able to move ahead and do all your work. So INEC have the money to literally execute its mandate. I can agree with the chairman to say, look, I have resident electoral commissioners who are negligible, and I am saying to Nigerians that whilst the buck stops on my table, I have other guys that we have to also look, look closely. It is just the same thing that happens with us as a people, where we focus too much on the president and forget that there is a governor, that there is a senator, that there is a House of Reps member, there's a House of Assembly member, and that there is a local government chairman, and that there is a councillor. So if the INEC chairman is openly saying to Nigerians that, yeah, I get it, it's on my table, but we've got people, we've got people who are on the ground in your state who should be held responsible as well. So he is admitting that the commission overall is to be held responsible, but there are component parts of the commission that are responsible. That is leadership, that is owning up, and that is saying, look, I understand I'm a public office holder, or rather I'm a public, not public office holder now, but I'm a public servant, but I've got other people who are working with me. So
God bless. You don't feel he's excusing himself from the responsibilities, because we know what we're hearing from the opposition party is calling for his resignation. I mean, even though you have people under you that are supposed to do the job, you are the head of this commission, and there's a whole lot of responsibility for you. So do you feel he's excusing himself from the responsibility and some of the hard boxes, some of the things that are coming for him? Do you feel he's excusing himself from all that?
Look, there's this school of thought. There are going to be people who say, oh, Yakubu Mahmoud is excusing himself. I have not said, remember what I said a few seconds ago. I said the box stops on his table. And what he has simply said is admitting that the commission is responsible for what has happened. So we now know that the commission is responsible for what has happened. So those who are saying, oh, thank you for admitting that the commission is responsible down the value chain of command, but you have to go, because it is the man who is at the head of the organization that takes the bulk of the blame. So those who are calling for his resignation are within their right to do so. But what I'm simply saying is that we must realize that what has happened with INEC, a chairman admits that there are people down the value chain that have made things wrong, is simply telling Nigerians to say, look, the way to have the dividends of democracy that you want is to also hold people accountable over the value chain. I'm not excusing the chairman. Those who are calling for his resignation should do so because it is within their right to do so. The box always stops on the table of the leader. But I am simply saying what the chairman has done is to point us to something bigger than what we were looking at before. If you were looking at it from the chairman's perspective, now the chairman is saying, I gave the order, I made the resources available, but these are the guys who did not do the work. That is what I'm saying.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much. God bless Otubure. Of course, we've seen all the front runners at the presidential poll, including President-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We actually wait to see what's going to pan out and if the INEC, the Independent National Electoral Commission, would give Nigerians a more credible election come March 11th. Thank you so much for joining us.
And maybe before you go, I just want to use this opportunity to say to Nigerians that please, on March 11th, come out, vote. We will continue to follow the results. We will continue to work with New Central to follow everything that happens, and we will support the security network to ensure that voters are safe. The whole idea that you are hearing, that there will be violence, please ignore it, because this election will be safe. We will work with the security agencies, we will work with INEC to ensure that materials get there on time. I know there's a commitment from the commission right now.
Okay.
We are watching closely the 8:30 a.m. mark. If we don't get that commitment and real action, we know what to do. We will call out the chairman again and we'll call out the commission. But Nigerians, please, let's come out and vote. No matter what happens, come rain or shine, we are ready to vote because we are ready to lead Africa. Nigerian youths, come on, let's do this.
All right, thank you so much. I love the optimism, and I'm sure lots of Nigerians and even youths will also come out March 11 to vote for the gubernatorial and state assembly elections. Thank you so much for joining us on NC Continental Prime.
Thank you for having me.